All of this is a backstory to just two verses from the book of the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21 and 22. And the backstory is massive, massive backstory to this. Anyway, Lamech has two wives. Why does he have two wives? It's a long story. But you'll see there's a pattern here. There's the wife who he loves, who is barren, and there's the wife who is not so precious, who has children. This pattern repeats itself. Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. Jacob, Rachel, and Leah. We see this repetition. And from the beloved wife comes the beloved child. From Sarah comes Isaac. From Rachel comes Joseph. And the same pattern is here. Lamech has two wives. Zillah is the beloved wife. Ada is the one who has most of his children. From Zillah comes one special child, Tubal-Cain. Now we know the story, don't we? What happens to the beloved child? It repeats itself. What happens to the beloved child of the beloved wife, Isaac? He's killed. What happens to the beloved child of the beloved wife, Joseph? He's killed. As far as the father is concerned, he's been killed. And it turns out later, he wasn't killed. He actually lives. Same story. There's a resurrection goes on here. We have the story here. Zillah's son is also killed. Who kills the beloved son? The family itself kills the beloved son. The father kills the beloved son. The law kills the beloved son. And in this story too, Lamech accidentally kills his beloved son, Tubal-Cain, the son of Zillah, his beloved wife. The story is that Lamech was somebody who liked hunting. He liked to go out hunting. But even when his eyesight was failing, he loved hunting so much. It was his real joy in life. And he was actually a good man. He was a repentant man. He was a decent man, considering this is before the nation had been touched by the second Adam, Adam Kadmon, before he had come down. Cain's people were getting better. They were getting more decent. They were getting more repentant. They were getting more civilized. They were getting to the point at which God was going to bless them with his presence, Adam Kadmon, the second Adam. But Lamech is a primitive man. He loves hunting. He didn't want to give up hunting. And his eyesight was failing. And he called his son, Tubal-Cain, to come with him hunting. And Tubal-Cain would point out to his father where to shoot and tell his father to shoot higher, lower, to the left, to the right. And Lamech would shoot when his son said yes. Now, we went out hunting, and the story is that Tubal-Cain saw something in the distance and said, there, aim, fire. And he shot it. It turned out to be something that represents his ancestor, Cain. It was a Kenite of some kind. It was an old Kenite. It was an ancient Kenite. It was his ancestor, Cain. He killed Cain, the seventh generation. Sevenfold protection was put upon Cain, and when that sevenfold generation, the seventh generation came about, Cain's protection was gone, and he was killed by his own descendant Lamech and Tubal-Cain. And when they approached and found out that they had killed this ancient Kenite, Tubal-Cain told Lamech, and Lamech was utterly distressed and started flailing his arms about in distress and beating himself and hitting out. And he hit his son, Tubal-Cain, in a place which caused a bruise, which ended up killing him in the end. That bruise didn't stop. Maybe Tubal-Cain was hemophiliac. So if you get a cut, the internal bleeding doesn't stop and you can die. It wasn't much. It was just a hit. It was an unintentional hit. His arm went, his son was in the way, and he got hit. And that is what Lamech's story is. After, of course, killing his son, his beloved wife Zillah, and Ada decided to leave him. You killed our ancestor, Cain, our ancient old man who we're supposed to respect. Grandfather Kenite. The old Kenite, you killed him. And you killed this innocent child. And Lamech called his wives. He said to his wives, please, listen to my voice, O wives of Lamech. Please incline your ears to my words. For I have slain a man by wounding him. It wasn't my intention. I shot him and he bled to death. With my arrow, with my bow and arrow, I shot him and he bled to death. And I didn't even know it was a man. And I've slain a child by bruising him. It was an accident. It was completely unintentional. If Cain was forgiven 7 times over, 7-fold, and he was an intentional murderer, then surely for Lamech, it should be 77-fold. And that's what Jesus is referring to in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21. I tell you, not just 7 times, but 77 times, like Lamech. Show the same kind of mercy that Lamech gets. Lamech was sorry 77-fold. Why? So there's more into this. Peter is asking, how many times shall I forgive my brother who sins against